In this section, we'll be solving equations with variables on both sides. So the first step you want to do is put the variables on one side of the equation by doing the inverse operation. So you're going to have them on both sides, but you want to put them all on one side so that you can combine like terms like we did before. And then, second step, undo the constant. Third step is to undo the coefficient. So in this example, we want to get the A's, all of the A's on one side. Since we already have this A over here, we want to move this one to that side by doing, whoa, text message, by doing the opposite. Now, since this will be a positive 2A, we will undo it by doing minus 2A on both sides, in which the A's will cancel out, and we're left with a positive 3. And then 3A minus 2A is just 1A, which is understood as just A. So the final answer in this one is A equals 3. Seems easy, yes it does. But the main thing you want to remember is that you want to move the A's, or whatever your variables are, all to the same side. So on this one, we want to get the V's all to one side. Let's move this 4 over here. By doing that, you're going to do minus 4V to this side, so that it cancels out over here. So you're left with negative 7 equals 5 plus 7V minus 4V. Now we can combine our like terms. Over here, we have 7V minus 4V. Those two terms can be combined. 7 minus 4 is 3. So over here, we'll be left with 5 plus 3V. Over here, we still have that negative 7. Now, we want to get rid of the constant. We have a positive 5, so we want to subtract 5. Now on this, you have to remember your rules. We have a negative and another negative. So we need to put those together to get negative 12, which equals 3V. Now, real quick, over here, negative minus negative. Negative 7 minus 5. Remember, the signs are the same, so you put them together. Negative 12. Keep the negative. But back over here, negative 12 equals 3V, in which you want to get rid of your coefficients by dividing by 3. And V equals 4, except for you have a negative divided by a positive, which is negative. So your final answer will be negative 4. All right. Now, I'm going to help you start this one, but then I want you to finish it on your own. Now, we see that we have the parentheses here. Remember, you have to do the distributive property first. So on this one, you want to multiply 4 times that x and then 4 times that negative 5. So you'll start off with 4x, then a positive times a negative will be a negative, and you will get 20. Then just bring everything else down. Plus 2 equals x plus 3. All right, from there, I want you to finish the problem. In this one, you will get x equals 7. X will equal 7. All right, try this one. In this one, you should get c equals 4. Okay, now we have everybody's favorite problem, doing it with fractions. Now, just like we did before, we want to find the common denominators so that we can only deal with the top to make it easier. Now, quick spoiler alert, we have a W. Anything that does not have a denominator visually, you just put it over 1, which we all know to do. So now we can look at the numbers 2, 4, 3, 1, and 6. and think, common denominator would be 12. Would be 12 equals 12 and 12. So over here, 2 times 6 is 12 times 6 would be 6w. Keep the minus. 4 times 3. 3w times 3 is 9w. Keep that plus. Times 4 times 4 will stay 4. Over here, times 12. So w times 12 is 12w. Keep the plus. Times 2 times 2 will be 14. So now that we have all of our common denominators, we can only focus on the numerators, those top numbers. So I have 6w minus 9w plus 4 equals 12w plus 14. So now I want to move all the w's to one side, so I'm going to subtract this 12w over here, which will leave me with this one canceling out. So over here I will have 6w minus 9w minus 12w plus 4 equals 14. Whenever I put all of those w's together, 6 minus 9 minus 12, I will end up with negative 15w plus 4 equals 14. Gonna bring my work over here, a little cleaner area. But I still do the same. Get rid of the constant first. So I want to subtract 4 from both sides. So I'm left with negative 15w on one side. And then 14 minus 4 is 10 on this side. Divide by negative 15, in which w equals 10 over negative 15, except for that fraction can reduce. We can reduce it by 5. So 5 goes in that 2 times, it goes in that 3 times, and we have a negative. So your answer will be negative 2/3. All right, on this one, I want you to read it, set up your equation, and see if you can find out how many chairs does she have. In this one, the answer was 32 chairs. 32 chairs. All right, now we're going to be solving multi-step inequalities. Same thing we've been doing, but now we have the greater than, less than, and equal to signs. But we're still doing the same thing as well. We will be graphing these. So in this one, 2x minus 3 is greater than 5. Greater than 5. So we still want to do the same thing. Let's get rid of the constant first by adding 3 to both sides. These 3's will cancel out, and you'll be left with 2x. Keep that inequality, and 5 plus 3 is 8. Last up, divide by 2, in which x, you keep the inequality, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So your answer is x is greater than 4. So that when you graph it, 4 would be about, if 0 is right there, 4 I would say it's about right here. Since it does not have the equal to, it would be an open circle. And we want all the numbers that are greater than 4, which will go that way. All right, so I want you to try this one. Now, on this one, you may have ended up with negative 4, that sign, and the x. Negative 4 is less than x. But if you rewrite it where the x comes first, you'll have x is greater than -4, which is all the same. But it is best to write it this way. That way, when you graph it, if 0 is right here, -4 will be around here. It's still an open circle, and the arrow will be going that way. All right, on this one, key tip that you see at the bottom, don't forget to flip the inequality symbol. Hopefully you remember when. So we start off the same way. Let's get rid of the constant by subtracting 4. So we're left with -2x is less than or equal to -1. Divide by -2 on both sides. These 2's will cancel out, and I'm left with x. But remember, anytime you divide or multiply by a negative number, you flip the inequality. Since we divided by a -2, we flip the inequality. So we end up with -1 divided by -2. Negative divided by negative is positive, and you're just left with 1/2. So on this one, you have your 1/2. If 0 is right here, 1/2 is not too far from it. Since it can be equal to 1/2, you want to close that circle, and then the arrow will again go that way. So keeping that in mind, I want you to try this one. In this one, you should get x is less than or equal to -2. When you graph it, you have your -2, which is a closed circle, and your arrow will go this way. All right, in this one, I want you to try on your own also. On this problem, you should get x is less than -7. So when you graph your -7, it is an open circle this time, but again, it goes that way. All right, now we're doing it with fractions. I want you to try this one, but keep in mind what we did before. On this one, you should get x is less than or equal to 1/2, in which you graph your 1/2. It is a closed circle, and it will go this way. All right, good idea, bad idea. Roses. Uh-oh, sorry about that.
It's time for another good idea, bad idea. Good idea. Stopping to smell the roses. Bad idea. Stopping to feel the roses.